The US military has acknowledged that over half Guantanamo Bay prisoners are now on hunger strike. Among the 84 protesters, 5 have been put in hospital with life-threatening conditions and 16 are being force-fed. RT's Gianni Chikian now explains why the inmates have resorted to such desperate measures.
Here's a breakdown of who's currently held captive at the U.S. prison in Guantanamo. 54% are Yemeni nationals. That is 95 captives out of 166. Just a few more figures. A total of 86 prisoners there have been cleared for release. 56 of them Yemeni nationals. 3 years ago, the U.S. suspended all transfers of detainees to Yemen. What seems to aggravate the psychological torture of indefinite detention is knowing that your nationality, something that you cannot control, is the sole basis of that ordeal. Defense lawyers say what they deal with now is collective punishment by the U.S. government based on nationality, which is a clear violation of international law. When pressed for answers, the administration, the State Department specifically, which was in charge of those transfers, they point the finger at Congress, at the moratorium that the lawmakers put in place, at the Defense Authorization Act that they passed. But lawyers say those are just excuses.
Our clients are coming to grips with the cold fact. They may well die at Guantanamo, not because the state is unable to transfer them, but because it's unwilling to do so. The transfer restrictions are difficult. For example, they would require the Secretary of Defense to personally certify that a receiving state had taken steps to ensure that a prisoner can never threaten the United States in the future, whatever threaten might mean in that context. And obviously no state can guarantee that a future event will or will not occur, but that was the point. The point was to discourage transfers from Guantanamo.
Citizens of 48 countries in total have been held in Guantanamo since the opening of the prison in 2002. The majority of them were from Afghanistan, and over the years, most of them have been transferred back to Afghanistan. The second largest group of captives were from Saudi Arabia, then Yemen, then Pakistan. But you see the scope of the manhunt. It included 48 countries. As of now, it's not just Yemeni nationals who are stuck in this legal limbo, but the rest as well. Michael Williams, senior advisor for Guantanamo policy in the Office of the Legal Advisor at the U.S. Department of State, testified before a Human Rights Commission, and here's what he said.
We will continue to work through the Secretary of State and the other arms of the U.S. government to accomplish transfers.
First of all, Mr. Williams of the State Department gave this testimony in the middle of March. That is 3 months after the State Department shut down the office that was working on those transfers. So it is not clear how they continue to work on it if they shut down the office that was doing that. Also, defense lawyers present at this commission hearing saw the response as an attempt to water down the core issue, to bog it down in legal details, which seem to have no effect on the outcome.
The indefinite detention that they're asking for or justifying is under the laws of war, and in the states, United States mind, that war ends at the end of hostilities. Against who? Al-Qaeda and associated forces. Well, what does that mean? That's indefinite. That is the epitome of indefinite.
Some here have voiced the idea that whatever is keeping most of those people there has nothing to do with the law, but more with the fear that even those who had been wrongfully captured and held there for years for no reason have witnessed so much at that prison, including torture and other forms of humiliation, that fear that the U.S. may have created its own enemies. There you have dozens of people cleared for release and still languishing in prison. So they may have fallen victim not just to their wrongful capture, but now to U.S. politicians' assumptions of what they may or may not do in the future. In Washington, I'm Gianni Chikian.